The producers of the Mickey Mouse Club recognized she had star talent and put her center stage.
The Mickey Mouse Club was like the big deal. All of the kids, I remember coming home after school watching the Mickey Mouse Club. Everybody, it was just something that everyone did. And it was such a fun show. And like the people on the Mouseketeers, the girls and the boys, they were like the role models for everybody. You wanted to be like the Mouseketeers. And then she got picked to be one, and it was just wonderful. She loved it. Those were probably some of the best years of her life, being a Mouseketeer so far. She loves it. She'll still talk about it today.
Britney's co-performers that year included Christina Aguilera and Justin Timberlake. The slickly produced program would launch all three of them into stardom at a tender age.
These are kids who wanted to be performers and stars from an extremely early age, frighteningly young. And they went and worked at it from the time they were 8. And they were doing it from the time they were 12.
Hi, I'm Little Sister Amy. And I'm Little Sister Carol, and this is the Little Sisters Talk Show.
By the time they were 16, they were entertainment robots.
Yeah. And everyone in our audience today will receive a free "I'd rather have a blister than a big sister" t-shirt.
These kids were working at it for years.
In 1994, 2 years after Britney joined, the Mickey Mouse Club was cancelled. Having tasted fame and loved it, she now had to go back to school and back to Kentwood. It was a big blow for the Spears family, which had lost a much-needed regular income. When work dried up in Kentwood, Britney's dad, Jamie, had to travel to Mississippi to pay the mortgage. To help fund Britney's career, he converted a barn next to their home into a health club called Total Fitness. But it never really took off, and in 1998, Britney's parents eventually filed for bankruptcy.
He was a small-town guy who enjoyed being a small-town guy, and with Britney's pursuit of fame, that was taken from him. Lynn wanted that fame. Lynn wanted that ride, and Britney wanted that ride. Jamie never wanted it, and that eventually led to the breakup of the marriage. But there was always that uneasy thing, and he was supportive, and in fact, the man went into bankruptcy for his daughter, so you got to give him that. But I don't think he never wanted it. Like, you get the sense that if it were up to him, Britney never would have pursued any of it.
The Spears family had hit rock bottom. The Kentwood parish repossessed the family car and auctioned it off on the courthouse stairs for $2,000. Britney's dreams of making it appear to have evaporated. But on the other side of the Atlantic, a new wave of music would change the Spears family fortunes. Formulaic pop was in fashion again. This change was about to launch Britney on an irreversible path to superstardom.
We all blamed you. We didn't have Take That. We didn't have any of this stuff. Bras, what were they called?
Bras.
Yeah, okay. We didn't have them either.
So Britney's our fault, you're saying?
Well, what I mean to say is, we didn't have this kind of music for a long time.
We kind of realized that there was, in general, in America, a lack of music kind of catering to young teenagers. A tape and a picture suddenly appeared. I heard something in her voice, a commercial appeal and a certain distinctiveness in her voice. Again, there was something about this all-American girl next door that just registered that maybe this is something young girls can relate to and young boys can fantasize about.
Oh, baby, how was I supposed to know that something wasn't right here?
First one, Hit Me Baby One More Time, was recorded. We knew we had a hit, but it was really when the video for that song got made that we knew we had something that could be explosive.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Still only a girl, Britney had a precocious sense of her own sexual power. It was a quality that she would become famous for, and it was the beginning of the media's obsession with Britney Spears.
Well, that's like the archetype of like what a sleazy 36-year-old guy wants. A 16-year-old, super hot, nubile woman taking this once pure image and just injecting it with this images like from Hustler magazine or something, you know.
It captured a whole new audience. It captured me for sure, you know. As females grow up, well, they seem to develop things that catch guys' eyes, you know, and she just happened to have it all. That's all I could say.
Britney's success was immediate and massive. Age 17, she broke the record for the youngest artist to have her first single and album debut simultaneously at #1. Her second album, Oops, I Did It Again, also debuted at #1 and was the fastest-selling album by a female artist in the history of pop music. It was Britney's sexy image as much as her voice which shifted records. Somehow, she had hit on the perfect combination of good Southern Baptist girl and gyrating sexual temptress.
Have you met a lot of good Southern Baptist girls? I think they can do both. Vixen, virgin. Vixen, virgin.
I know I may be young.
The photo shoot for the first of Britney's 6 Rolling Stone covers took place in Kentwood, in her bedroom, surrounded by her doll collection. It was a vision of childhood innocence, with Britney wearing French knickers and a push-up bra. The cover photo would give Britney her first experience of the controversy that would only intensify throughout her career. The American Family Association objected to the mixing of childhood innocence with adult sexuality and called for a boycott of Britney's music.
David LaChapelle, the photographer, says that they were working on that cover shot, and Britney's manager came into the room and said, no, more clothes. And Britney said, you know, you're right, you're absolutely right, you're absolutely right. Yeah, this is just a little bit too much. And the manager left the room, and she said to David LaChapelle, lock the door, let's do this.
At just 17, Britney was too young to control the explosive contradictions in her public image, and she found herself making promises she would be unable to keep. She announced to the public that she would not have sex with her boyfriend, Justin Timberlake. Her photo shoots became more and more sexual. Her next cover was for Esquire magazine. The teen star was styled to look like Marilyn Monroe.
There was one photo in the spread where she's wearing only pearls from the waist up, and she's pulling her underwear down with her thumbs. And she wasn't told to do that by the photographer. So when I started the interview with her, I began with what I thought would be sort of the most obvious question, which is like, how do you sort of reconcile the fact that, you know, on one hand, you know, you're probably the most outspoken teen virgin among celebrities that I could really remember since Brooke Shields, but also you're sort of this hypersexual icon. I didn't know what she would say to it. I kind of thought she might, you know, possibly deny it, or she might say that, like, you know, people always say that, but it's not really true, or she might kind of knowingly go like, well, you know, I'm not as dumb as people think, but instead, she responded by acting like this had never occurred to her. I sort of felt bad for her in a way. I mean, it just seemed like you could tell her life had accelerated so quickly that she had no sense of what normal is, you know?
In the space of just 3 years, Britney had released 3 albums, all of which went to #1. But just as she had reached superstardom, she began to struggle with the expectations she had created in her fans and the media.
Britney Spears has confirmed that she's not that innocent in real life. She now says that, yes, she did have sex with ex-boyfriend Justin Timberlake, but only because she expected to marry him.
In 2002, Britney had a very public and acrimonious split with Justin Timberlake. This was swiftly followed by news that after 30 years of marriage, her parents were divorcing.
People can take everything away from you, but they can never take away your truth.
The public got their first glimpse of a far from perfect Britney, and the response was sudden and brutal.
They say I'm crazy.
At the UK premiere of her movie Crossroads, Britney was booed after she failed to meet her fans. The media started to take great delight in the possibility that Britney might actually drink or take drugs, claims she denied and threatened to sue over.